In this democracy, voting is the bedrock. Those who don't vote don't matter. I know many come from societies around the world who don't have suffrage, who don't have the right to vote. It's different here. So for those parents, voting is the most direct way you can impact your parents' present and future.
Hey, Andrew, you had some other points you wanted to talk about, and we're not going to have time to get to all of them, but you have been dealing with college-age suicides for some time now. So do you believe it is primarily from the, if I understand you correctly, societal, particularly parental expectations, and it puts pressure on the kids that find themselves being raised in a more laid-back American environment? So it's the collision of those two cultures that are driving the kids to take what they think is the easy way out, or as you have said, a permanent solution to a temporary problem?
Yes, you're absolutely right. It is a cultural value that's cherished. It's the concept of face, 面子. So parents insist the kids apply to and attend the most prestigious institutions, but they do not provide the necessary tools to get there, and getting there is not difficult. But finishing, graduating, earning that degree in 4 years in one piece, that is very hard, especially for this at-risk population. So it is from family, friends, and society as a whole. These kids are American born and raised, but they are 100%, in many cases, 100% Chinese. I have examples that I can show on a different call, but you're right. It is family, friends, and society, not the American society, but their parent society, driving them to impulsively conclude life is not worth living. Because I've heard this many times, whose life is it? Why can't I pursue my own dream? Why do I have to live someone else's dream? And that someone else's dream is what the parents expect, what the relatives expect, what the friends expect, and what society expects. It's what is valued.
So, Andrew, I would like to ask the next question. After that, we'll probably need to go to Tim Shaw for him to make his presentation. My question is this, okay, because the example that you cited as Cornell is a private school. So Prop 16 is talking about public education, public employment, and public contracting, okay? So what I'm thinking is this, okay? Even though there were no requirement for all these private universities, Harvard or whoever, to practice affirmative action, okay? But in reality, to some degree, they all have been engaging in using affirmative action factors to admit students. So what I'm thinking is this, okay, even though Prop 16 only addresses those three areas, public education, contracting, and employment, sometime in the future, you know, the private industries, businesses, or otherwise, they will start practicing those standards, and therefore, you know, trying to have a makeup of employees or contracts that will mirror the population of each race. So that's what I'm concerned about. Do you see that happening in the future?
I see this as domino effect.
Yes.
What happens in California happens elsewhere. We tend to lead the country in everything, including wildfire and COVID, but we tend to lead. So yes, this is the first domino. Aside from what happens in Sacramento, I believe that's a political maneuver. Even if affirmative action is defeated this November 3, it will come back. Just look at who makes decisions in Sacramento. It will come back another day, another time. So parents should not relax, even if affirmative action is defeated this time. We simply don't have a pipeline of future leaders.
That is
we
correct.
value something else. We want our children to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, everything but public servants. And if you look at those who support affirmative action, they don't earn PhDs. They're not high tech, but they make decisions in Sacramento. As long as this population doesn't have a voice at the table, this will come back. There are a few, but even those few, 3 voted in support, 3 voted against, 2 abstained. These are people with monosyllabic surnames. So even those few are not united.
Right.
But if you look at the other side, 17 surnames, Hispanic surnames, they vote in single block, and they vote with another group. So as long as